Well, jury selection is set to start tomorrow in the trial of the president's son, Hunter Biden. It's a long-awaited court date that could have, of course, some major political implications. Hunter Biden is facing 3 federal charges related to gun possession. Prosecutors say he falsified forms while purchasing the gun, allegedly lying about his drug addiction. If convicted, he could face up to 25 years in prison. Hunter Biden also faces trial in September on tax evasion charges, allegedly failing to pay over $1.4 million in taxes. All of this as his father, President Biden, wrestles with the fallout from the historic conviction of Donald Trump. Here for more on this story is NewsNation's Caitlyn Becker. We go from one trial to another. This one, again, long anticipated. Of course, lots of talk surrounding it. What are you expecting to happen?
Well, we're going to start with the basics. It's going to be jury selection, then they're going to roll into opening statements, and then, of course, the prosecution is going to put up their case. Brooke, we do have an idea of witnesses that are going to take the stand. Okay. We know that Hunter Biden's ex-wife is going to take the stand, as well as his late brother Beau's widow. Now, these two had a sexual relationship, and she really is at the heart of these charges because it was she who found the gun initially in 2018 in his truck. She threw it in the trash, which I don't know why anybody would just throw a gun in the trash, but here we are. She threw it in the trash. It was found and then turned into police. So that's what kind of got us here. So we know she's going to take the stand. That could be somewhat salacious, but I expect this to be somewhat boring. Not okay. I mean, we're not going to get that story.
Not as emotional as maybe you'd think.
Yeah,
sure.
Maybe not as emotional as you would think, because they are serious charges, of course, but he doesn't have a criminal history. So they're going to sort of work their way through that. And then the other idea that we already know is where the defense is going to go. And the basis of their defense, or at least part of it, is going to come down to his drug addiction. So he checked a box on a form to get this gun saying that he didn't have a drug problem. And of course, he wrote in his book and has acknowledged later that he was addicted to crack cocaine. Now, that excerpt from the book is going to come into court as an exhibit. We do know that. But his defense team is going to likely try to insinuate that maybe as he was going through it, he didn't consider himself an addict, so he didn't check the box. That could get down into semantics, but it will really come down to the type of jurors that are impaneled here and how they're going to take that.
Yeah, and do they believe that maybe he didn't really consider himself that? Quickly here, President Biden, any reaction to all of this?
He hasn't really spoken out much about this, and I don't expect that from the White House as we move forward. Once we hit a verdict, that's likely to happen. But President Biden and Hunter have been very close. They were riding bikes together. They spend a lot of time together. It seems like when Hunter is going through something, his father pulls him closer, and we definitely are seeing that throughout this process. They talk something like 3 times a day, and that's supposed to continue throughout this entire legal battle.
Yeah, but as far as his position as president, he has sort of kind of distanced himself from this.
Especially in an election year,
absolutely.
It could get muddy.
A lot of potential political implications here. Okay, lots to watch. Caitlyn Becker, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.